Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the West Virginia Game Developers Expo and also the West Virginia Cybersecurity Expo this year. I have with us here JD Short. Thank you, sir, for coming and doing a session for us. So JD is going to talk to us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. He's going to talk to us about something that I could use some work on right now, social media, because I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So I'm going to turn it over to you, sir, and let you have your screen shared here and let you go to town. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. As he said, my name is JD Short. I was a student at Mount West. I want to lead in with that here. The screen share right now is the beginning of a sort of slideshow that I've got. So don't worry about that right now. I do want to show you a lot more from there onward. We can cut it back to me if you want for now. My name is JD Short. My full actual name is John David Short II. My father was John Short. He was a councilman here in Huntington, West Virginia for a little while. He was appointed by the city and then ran a re-election campaign that ended up losing by 40 votes. 40 votes. I bring that up. I know that doesn't make sense, too much, but I bring that up because it's important to talk about the reach of your brand, whether you're running for a council position in your town, or whether you're developing a video game, or say you're starting your own cybersecurity company, or even just a social media brand, including influencing, including maybe you make your own macrame little Christmas ornaments and you want to sell those. That kind of stuff matters. That stuff is important to have a social media reach for that. And so that's what this particular session, this track is about. But again, just to lead off again, my name is JD Short. I am a co-host of a podcast here based in Huntington that you might have heard of, you might not have, but that's okay if you didn't, because that's how podcasts go. The podcast is called Holler, and our website is officialholler.com, which I'll write that in the comments. Well, I can't write that in these comments, but if you have comments, please throw them up on the screen. Officialholler.com is the website.
Officialholler.com. I'll put that up here.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So the podcast is really just a reason for me and some friends to get together at least once a week. We do it really 3 times a month. We take 1 week off every month because we really need it for our mental health. But it's a reason for us to get together at the end of the week and kind of shoot the S. I'm trying not to curse as much as possible on this because I do that a lot. There you go. That's it. Officialholler.com. If you go there, you'll be able to see all the past episodes we did. But that podcast started off actually as a different podcast that we did for about 3 years. That was called the Snappy Hour. It was a podcast based on Snapchat. I know that sounds kind of interesting, but what it was we recorded an audio podcast, and we would ask our friends to send us video and audio snaps via Snapchat, and we'd play them on the show as we actually did the show. And I can tell you now, that one particular thing, just doing something with your friends like a podcast, but then creating that caveat in reaching out to other people via another social network, it expanded our reach by thousands. At first we were just us. It was me and my buddy Brian. Then it grew into friends of friends would come over and watch us do the show because they had so much fun, because they were like, well, this is better than going out. We don't have to spend all this money. We don't even have to get drunk or anything. We can actually just come here and just listen to good music and talk about issues and things and make fun of things, not people, things, and just kind of do that kind of silliness. And it was great. It was wonderful. Then we hit a roadblock, and it was the fact that we had aligned ourselves so much with Snapchat that when we went through their brand guidelines, we realized we couldn't call ourselves the Snappy Hour anymore. We had to change our name. And if we didn't do it before they sent us a cease and desist, we would have gotten in big trouble. They could have taken all of our stuff away from us. So we decided to jump the gun a little bit. And we decided to change our name. And so we had a business meeting. We said, what do we want to change it to? That would be, a little bit more forward thinking. And then when we started talking in that meeting, we started realizing, this can be bigger than just Snapchat. You have to pardon me, excuse me. It's it's the fall time. I have the sniffles. It's not COVID, I promise. We had the meet. We were talking. How do we reach a larger audience than just people on Snapchat? Because not everybody has Snapchat. Some people don't even know what it is. Some people don't know how to use it. Some people can't use it. It's not accessible to them because of their device, or maybe because of the way that they come about hang out. So how do we reach the biggest audience? And we found out that live streaming video reached a larger audience, but also in with that was our ability to make people kind of laugh and giggle and maybe even argue with us a little bit. That was kind of the deal. And this, I know it's a long-winded story, but I'm getting to the point here. Your reach, your social media reach, they don't care if you make them mad or you make them happy. They just care that you see something. Now, that's a double-edged sword if you really think about it. And to be honest, don't want to get political here, but the last 4 years of our lives has been a pretty good social experiment for us to realize how important it is to always get in front of the issue. So with that being said, I want to go through some of these slides here after I finish this small little story here. The snappy hour changed to Holler. We called ourselves Holler because we realized that there wasn't a podcast out there called that was live. Now, there were podcasts in the past that were called that they were dead podcasts. They only existed for a couple of years, and then the creators didn't want to do them anymore. And then we realized they didn't have a copyright for the name, and they didn't realize we didn't realize that, well, we can actually look up and see if we could build a company off of this. So we started doing that. We started doing the research into doing that, and we realized that it was the best option. So we decided to register as many .coms as we could. We got all the social media accounts under the right names possible. We locked in everything under the same information. We diversified our security so that we would not be able to be hacked easily on each platform. And by each platform, I mean specifically in this case, Facebook, number one, because it has the largest reach out of all of them. The next one would be Twitter. And a lot of people would say, well, Instagram might have more. No, they're about neck and neck, really, if you look at it. But Facebook is the biggest social media network on the face of the planet. The next one would be Twitter. And then the next one would be Instagram. And then from there, you've got Snapchat. And then you've got TikTok, which also is growing exponentially. But that's a little different algorithm. I'll get to that here in a bit. Speaking of algorithms, what you're seeing on your screen now you don't see the time stamp on this. Actually, it says it was created in September of this year. Obviously, that was post-COVID time. For the sake of this track here, I'm going to explain that COVID started here in our area on basically St. Patrick's Day 2020. And from that point on, we are now in a mid-COVID. It's not post-COVID. This is a mid-COVID section because COVID hasn't gone away and quite possibly might not go away. But it's basically the new cold. We have to, just be healthier people. And that's how we can get rid of it. But as you can see here, when this screenshot was taken, which looks like it was September 24th of this year, which was really, if you look at it, only a month or so, a month and a few weeks ago from now. And specifically, this date is by the way, Saturday, November 7th. It was the day that we officially elected a woman to be the Vice President of the United States of America. If you can see here, our page reach went down by 80,000 in 1 week. Oh boy. So that means that the week before it was only at 40,000. Do you see how Facebook itself and their algorithms can kind of misguide you in how certain things go? When we started the Snappy Hour, which then evolved into Holler, we were at zero likes. As the Snappy Hour for years continued on, about every year we averaged about 300 likes. At the end of the Snappy Hour days, which was 3 years worth of our time, we had about 1,000 likes. Then we converted to Holler. When we converted to Holler, we decided to go about that a certain way. If you go to the website, officialholler.com, you'll see if you scroll all the way down the episodes page to the first episode, we had a local celebrity on the show. It was WSAZ's Tim Ear, who is the lead anchor, one of the lead anchors, excuse me, for the most watched television network in our area. When we realized that this guy had a wonderful sense of humor, but also was just down to clown like that, we sent our producer, her name's Gracie. Gracie Graves is her name. She just got married this other weekend. Congratulations to her. She's just this go-getter. She became our producer, by the way, because she liked our show. She just came to the show and then started hanging out with us. We became friends from that. I did not know this woman from Adam, but she came and became a friend and a fan first, then became a friend, and then she became our producer. And then from that point on, we went from 1,000 likes to having Tim Ear on our show on the first episode of the official Holler podcast. And then we had an actor as the next one. And then we had a local social media influencer as the next one. And then we had this person as the next one. We had a band as this next one. We had this and then that. It went from being a podcast to almost a late night talk show, early morning radio show thing, which is always what we kind of thought were going to be one day. But then it started really happening. If you look at it, we went from 1,000 to right now 3,500. And in that 1 week, we went up by 43 likes. Well, that's great. How did that happen? I'll show you. As we continued on, 2 days later, our post reach went up by 500,000. 2 days. Why? Well, as you can see, the most engaging posts were these little memes that we created that were also, screenshots of other memes that were edited to put our own information on them, things like that. Memes can be stolen. They're memes. That's the whole thing, by the way. But our show isn't just that. However, our page was, because our page was designed to allow us to basically reach as many people as possible. Well, it was working, as you can see. In that month, August through September, our post reach went up by 500,000 people. 500,000 people? We didn't, and by the way, you can pay for post reach on Facebook. They also want you to. The algorithm is designed to make you have to pay. Well, we wanted to hack that algorithm. We wanted to get as much reach for free as possible. We found out the best way to do so was a mixture of all these different things. Video posts, which is what our live podcast that we did weekly was. A live stream, by the way. People love to see live, as you can see right now. If you're watching now, it's live. If you're watching later, that's cool too. But if you're watching now, you're cooler, right? People love live. People love video because they can interact with it. It makes them laugh. It elicits emotion. The next thing they love is photo because it does the same. Even though it's a still image, it can still evoke emotion. Then after that, people love arguing. That's the next thing. People don't just like seeing your opinion. They like having their own. And they like when you ask them a question, they answer it. If you notice, if you do have Facebook or any social media, your most engaging posts are more than likely ones where you either ask someone a question and why, and they answer it, or you kind of argue with people. You get mad, When you get mad at each other, you're evoking emotion. When you evoke emotion, you elicit response. And that is what social media is all about. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if everybody's ever seen the movie The Social Dilemma on Netflix, which was obviously overdramatic in some ways, but still quite true. We have a fifth limb, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our left and our right, arms. We got our left and our right legs, and then we've got our cell phone. That's our fifth limb. That's our way for us to, and it's our second brain. It's our second pair of ears. It's our second pair of eyes. It's another connection. It's another part of us nowadays, if you really think about it, our devices, and the way we use them, really. For our post reach to reach that much, we had to do a lot of work, but it wasn't as much work as you'd think. It was just engaging with the audience. And this is Facebook only. When we started Holler, we decided we wanted to continue doing as much as we could on all social media, not just Snapchat, not just Facebook, on Twitter as well, which we don't share the same stuff on Twitter as we do on Facebook, because if you want to see what we share on Facebook, go to Facebook. If you want to see what we share on Twitter, go to Twitter. If you want to see what we share on Instagram, go there. If you want to see the show, go to our website or go to all those things. That's how we did it. We realized that we had to build essentially a network of our own social networks. And we, from that point, started reaching a lot more people. As you can see, in one day, our post reach went from 800,000 to 1.5 million people. 200,000 people started engaging in our stuff, started liking our stuff, started commenting on our stuff, started sharing it with their friends. Our page likes increased by almost 700 in a day. One day. How did that happen? Well, I just said so. We shared things. We elicited response. We invoked emotion. And we kind of argued with some people, especially Facebook. I can tell you right now, that's the most fun to argue with, is Facebook itself. If there's a way you could get in touch with Mark Zuckerberg, you let me know, because I'd like to argue with that man in a debate one day. I think it'd be wonderful. Anyway, 1.5 million. That's crazy, right? Crazy stuff. Well, let me show you the kind of content what we were putting up. And this is safe for work. Some of the stuff later on might not be safe for work. So if you're at work, which everybody is, because this is an expo, we get it. I'm not going to try not to cuss as much as possible. This is a funny meme that I created on Twitter. Took a screenshot of and shared on Facebook. Elicited a bit of a response. As you can see, I decided to rewrite the lyrics to WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and make it Kids Bop friendly. As you can see, there's no curse words in there, but there's a lot of illicit response and illicit emotion and silliness, of course, right? But it's things like that, again, that elicit response. As you can see, this next slide here, this is also going to prove another point. COVID data. COVID-19 has changed the entire planet, and nobody can disagree with that. And if you do, what are you even doing? You're using a computer, right? You're smart. Right here on this particular, this was a screenshot that was taken a month ago, just a month ago. And think about how different the data is today as it was just 1 month ago. And also think about how this data here on this is actually correlated. Again, it's all algorithms, and algorithms essentially are just math problems that take the data that you know and the data that you know and smash it together to create data that you didn't know until then. You know what I mean? So that was another contributor, by the way, to our post reach getting so big, was the shutdown. People couldn't go out as much. People needed to stay home because it was proven that if they spread this virus, they could get their loved ones hurt. So they had to stay home. What did they do when they stayed home for longer than they were used to staying home? Well, they started going crazy. That's the first thing. But the second thing was they started reaching out for more things that they enjoyed, or just more humanity, more social, being, more social awareness for themselves. And when they found out that we did a show that was just like the Tonight Show, except we could say what we wanted, and it was just like, the Drive Time Radio Show, except we could curse, and we could make fun of things if we wanted to. By the way, we do not make fun of people; we make fun of things. That's different. Objective and subjective humor are totally different things. You never want to make fun of a subject. You want to make fun of the objective because that is how you can be inclusive in humor and make sure that you don't alienate people. Now, not to say that you won't alienate people, because you might. That's okay. You can't control everybody, but you can control yourself, and that's what's up. So this next slide here is kind of important because it shows you where, remember these over here when I said our post reach was 1.5 million, well, jumped up again. And this one's important too, because I wanted to show you how much we've paid Facebook. $0. We haven't given Facebook any money. I will eat my own words here in a little bit, because I do want to show you that we did spend a little bit of money, but it's not as much as you think. But as you can see on this, we spent $0. And you see that big hump right there where it was real small down here, and then it just went boom. Well, that was just a viral meme. One viral meme. And then all the memes started to become viral, because one good meme begats the next good meme, when it comes to social media. We went from 1.5 million to 4.5 million. That's a jump of whatever percentage that even says. That's not even a number. What is it? That's not even a thing. We jumped up, and it was because we went a little viral. And, I don't want to show the next meme here because it's going to say some messed up stuff, so I'm going to scooch on to the next hump. In another 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, still 0 paid reach. That's 0%. We did not give Facebook a single dollar, but we still increased by another 1.5 million people. We're now averaging, just to let everybody know, between 4 and 6 million hits pretty much every day. It's weird how it works. It's not every day that we get 1 million, but we have so many memes and so many videos and things that we share with our audience who knows us. They're our audience because they joined us. We looked for them, but then they started coming to us. So we know our audience. We know what engages with them, because we can look at the insights and see what does and what doesn't. And so we steer away from what doesn't. We steer toward what does, which, again, like I said, is eliciting emotion and invoking response. And that's why now, on a weekly basis, between 4 and 6 million people see our stuff, and we didn't have to pay Facebook a single cent for that. I'm going to be done here in a little bit, just so I can open up. If anybody has questions, and go ahead and throw them in the comments, which I haven't seen yet. I don't think there's really a lot, but we will get to a little question and answer sort of situation here in a bit. Again, memes helped us. The live video is what we care about, because we do it every week. But what we really care about is getting out there. We want people to see our brand, because it is a brand. Here's another meme here. That includes some Spanish language, because I've taken years of Spanish language and French language, and I'm not necessarily bilingual. I'm definitely English, and I know a lot of that stuff because I can't stop saying it. But this is funny. Whatever. This is kind of funny too. This was a meme that a friend of ours in LA made that we then edited, and she probably got mad at us that we did it, but big deal. We don't care. All right, here's some more data, and then we'll scooch on. As you can see here, this is when things can come down. Oh boy, we went from 6 million to 3.5 million. Oh, that's only down by that much. Oh, we only went from this many million to that many million. Okay, here's our current page like situation, which is growing every day, but not the exponential way our likes are. But as you can see now, we can see our demographics because of our data. We got so much data now we can see. So as you can see, there's a lot of women that like our stuff. I think it's because they think they're funnier than us and want to share more things. Maybe they think we're cute. I don't know. Maybe they just enjoy inclusive humor. Maybe they use Facebook more than dudes do. Who knows? There are still plenty of dudes, right? But as you can see, if we're hitting millions and we've got this many likes and that many things, if you break down more information, if we're hitting 6 million on an average of 4 to 6 million people a week. 90% of those are coming from the United States. That means the other 10% is coming from the rest of the world. If only 6% is coming from Huntington and 2% is coming from Charleston, 1% is from New York, less than 1% is from San Antonio, less than 1% is from Ashland. That means that all the other percents are from everywhere else. So that's interesting data, right? That's interesting information. As you can see here too, these posts that we post, they're on average now happening all the time, are getting this many reaches, thousands, or this many reactions, hundreds and thousands, this many comments, dozens, this many shares, hundreds. This is how you get it going. This is how you move it forward. And here's how much I've spent on Facebook. Speaking of, they've rejected a couple of my ads because they are robots. They don't realize that the ads actually do work for them. And they also apparently didn't want my money, which is weird because everybody wants money. But they're robots. Just during COVID-19, they program their algorithms to take more of the load off of the humans, and it just doesn't work. Well, the one that went through was a music video I created for a band that I play in called Liar Liar. We have a song called Affluenza, and the song was actually written years ago, but I recorded a version of it about COVID-19, and as you can see, I spent $20 and got 700 people to listen to the entire song. You know, if those 700 people bought the song for $1, I would have made all my money back plus a lot more. But, you know, that's not how music works nowadays. Big deal, whatever. As you can see, some of them we've paid for, some of them we haven't. There's a couple more right there completed. You know, we paid $10, we got 2,000. Big deal. We're getting more response. And I'm going to stop sharing this particular screen now. We get more response from just organic reach than we ever did paying Facebook. And that is a big deal, because it's proof that you can hack the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't have to hack you. As you can see my name here on the screen, it still says JD Short, aka DJ Diablo Sauce Packet. It's because I did a DJ stream during a COVID quarantine like music festival, because people can't go to music festivals anymore, so we have to have them online. Well, as you can see, we're having this expo online. This is not necessarily the new normal. This is just part of the new normal. We've been doing stuff like this for a while. It's just not gotten that good until something like COVID happened, where we had to really start getting good at it. So essentially, if you have any questions for me, please send them to me. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat in the same name. It's JD Short, all one word. No spaces, no punctuation, all that good stuff. And if you find a social media that I'm not that name on, you let me know, and I'll get my lawyers after them. I want to thank, I know we still got plenty of time, but I wanted to open this up so that we could have a discussion, even if it's just with Patrick, which would be great. I want to thank him for allowing me to be on this, because Mount West was a very important part of my life. It taught me a lot. As a matter of fact, I wanted to kind of wax a little bit about Mount West. They changed my life for the better, and I could never repay them. And the thing was, I already did pay them. That's what the financial aid and the grants and the loans and all that stuff were for. You pay them for the education, but what you get back from Mount West, it's insane. What you can do with the knowledge that you learn at a place like Mount West. It's the first school I've ever been to where the classrooms were on the inside of the building and all the offices were on the outside. That meant that when you exited class, you saw your professor. You would be walking past their office every day. No other college, I don't think, on the face of the planet really has the same opportunity as Mount West for the cost, the things you can learn, the connections you can make, the people that you meet there. I mean, there's people that I know that have gone to Mount West and then 2 years later graduated with a degree they never thought they'd have, married to the person they never thought they'd marry, and they'd have a kid already. Like it's crazy. It's true. It's life. It's how it goes. But I just want to say thank you to Patrick Smith and everybody. As you can see, I was exhibitor last year's expo. They let me DJ there for a bit, and the only complaint that I had was from people saying it was too loud. Well, sorry. It was too loud. If it's too loud, turn it down, and that's what I had to do. So that's okay. So Patrick, if you want to jump back on the screen, if you're still even here, that would be cool. If there's anybody in we do got a couple comments. Let me go over that right here. Let's see. Do you think social media is shaping the world in a negative, positive, or neutral way? I think the answer is all. The answer is the fourth option, which is yes. A negative way. Let's see how it does it in a negative way. Well, it again, like I said, it evokes emotion and elicits response, and vice versa. Arguments are a course of nature for all people. Man is a social being and always will be. And when COVID-19 struck, we realized if we lock ourselves into our homes, just like if we were to lock ourselves in a sensory deprivation tank, we would go crazy. We have to reach out to others, because now there are some loners out there, and that's fine. I can be one of them sometimes, but people will always be people. If you hate people, that's fine. You can hate people. That's good. But maybe the hate stuff, keep to yourself. That's probably a good idea. If you hate particular people, like a person with like their name, don't say they're like that you hate a person, because that's bad. Say there are things about them you don't like. That's fine. You can do that, but you can't hate. Hate's the bad part. So that's the negative side of social media. Here's the positive side. I have spoken with thousands of people that I've never met. And I've learned facts about their life that I never knew. And it has affected my life in a positive way, because I would have never talked to them if it weren't for social media. And I would have never known their story if it weren't for social media. And now that I know their story, I have a better sense of my own humanity. So that's the positive thing about social media, is you get to reach out to people, and you can have positive arguments. For example, on the show that we do every week, last night we did it, which is why I look so groggy today. I asked everybody, let's have a pizza war. What's the best pizza? And tell me why. Don't just tell me what is the best pizza. Tell me why you think it's the best. And we had people coming in from Texas, New York, Los Angeles, a lot of people here in Huntington and the Appalachian Valley. And they would say, you got to have this one. And it's because of this reason. You got to get a deep dish because the crust is poofier, and then it's cheesy on the out and crispy on the outside, and this and that. No. You got to get thin crust. You got to get the New York style. You got to get the big slice that you got to fold in half and eat like a taco. And then somebody came in and said Ohio style, and we were all like, "What?" Well, it turns out there's a pizza that they make in the Ohio Valley where it's baked super thin first, and then they pull it out, and while it's piping hot, that's when they put a mound of stuff on top of it, and the super hot bottom with the cold stuff on the top, when you bite into it, together creates this thing. And we were like, well, that's insane. That sounds great. I want to try that. Well, we wouldn't have known if that didn't exist. We wouldn't have known that existed if it weren't for that stuff. So that's, again, positive. Now, you say a neutral way. How could social media affect the world in a neutral way? Like this. Just being silent. That's how you can be neutral, is just doom scrolling through and not reacting things. That's neutral. Everyone reacts to everything. If you see something, you have a reaction, even if you just pass right by it. There is a reaction. Even you're passing by it is a reaction. What is it? Neil Peart wrote, the drummer for Rush. He said, you know, if you refuse to make a choice, you still have made a choice. Something similar to that. I think I've answered that one question right there. So here's another one here. How much time do you spend in social media per day? Do you find yourself getting further away from the real world? And how do you find a good balance? How much time do I spend in social media per day? Well, there's a way you can look at that on your phone. I can tell you now that my body knows when I've spent too much time on it because my eyes start to hurt. My brain starts getting crazy. I get sleepier and sleepier and sleepier, and then I need to go to sleep. So I spend enough time on social media, but I try to spend more time in the real world. Everybody gets 24 hours in a day. And in my opinion, 8 of those should be sleeping, 8 of them should be working, and the other 8 should be doing whatever the hell you want. And that's how you live a balanced life. Do you find yourself getting further away from the real world? No, I find myself getting closer to it. Now, right now during COVID-19, I'm getting closer to a lot of people than a lot of people do because of this crisis. I think the real important question on that question there is, how do you find a good balance? You have to strive to. How do you do that? If somebody had the answer to a question like that, they would be not me. They'd be a millionaire, a billionaire. They'd probably be richer than Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates combined. How do you find a good work-life balance? Coffee, maybe. You know, snaking a brewski with the bros after a hard shift. Going home to your wife or your husband and kissing her or him, you know, on the lips and saying, shit, today sucked. And then they say, I don't want to hear about it. And you say, well, you never want to hear about it. You never want to hear my stuff. What do you want for dinner? Shit. Oh, pizza. Tacos. Well, I want tacos, but I want pizza. Well, let's just put the tacos on the pizza. Let's just get a Mexican pizza. That's fine. Whatever. All right. Professor Priest comes in. Can a business utilize TikTok, or is it just for dancing? I guess, again, I'm going to go back to one of the first answers there, and the answer is yes. It's for both. A business can utilize TikTok, but you're going to have to dance. TikTok is just another platform, just like Facebook. What we've realized in all these different platforms taking over different parts of things, we've realized where their demographics shift and where they go. Facebook is full of a lot of politics, and you wonder why. Well, it's probably because there's a lot of divisive people on Facebook that use Facebook to divide other people, to create their own little zones. You know, Facebook says that they're designed to bring people together, and it seems like sometimes you go on that website and people are just angry. Well, that's just because the algorithm is designed to create and evoke emotion and elicit response. It is designed to do that. TikTok is designed for you to be addicted to. You pull it up on your phone and you're just, I mean, think about, look at the way an old person uses TikTok and the way a young person uses TikTok. The people that use it the best are the young and the old people using it together. That's the best way that a business could utilize TikTok. That's the best way you should utilize TikTok. Have fun with it because it's designed to be fun. You know, business needs to be more fun anyway. I don't understand the whole concept of going to work and being unhappy. Ew. You know, I mean, yeah, you go to work and you got to deal with unhappy people, maybe, especially if you work in customer service or you work in anything that deals with customers, really. You're gonna run into that adversity, and you're gonna have to take it. What I've noticed is you face it head first. You know, if the response that is elicited is instant and mean, you got to come back to it. And it's actually better on a customer facing side to be nice when somebody is angry, because if you can smile when they frown, their frown starts turning upward, and it might turn into a smile. What I love to do is when I notice that somebody's having a bad day, I try to make them laugh. And the easiest way to make somebody laugh is making a fart joke or a fart noise even, and just eliciting something. Now, if you get to that point and they get angrier and angrier, well, they're just going to be angry people. That's just how it goes. Another question here. What do you think will be the next best thing in social media? The answer to that is Holler, officialholler.com. Where do you see it going in the future? I see you going to officialholler.com. That's where I see you going in the future. Actually, what I think is in the future, all social media is going to be compartmentalized even more in a way where no matter what channel you decide to go in, you're going to be able to express yourself however you want. Facebook has been really leading the way in that, and that's why we believe that that platform is the best for sharing our stuff. I'll be honest with you. Here's the secret. We don't like Facebook. It's not fun. It's not fun. They change the platform all the time. The back end is crazy. They're inventing their own code. It's called Hack. I don't know. It runs on something called the Hip Hop Virtual Machine, which is insane. But it's essentially just compartmentalized. Kubernetes or K8s, which is IBM's version of the same thing. Google has really started doing it, and then IBM ran with it. All these Microsoft does their own thing. People that run Linux do their own thing. Everything's really based on Linux though, because it's a Unix code. It's a code that anybody can learn, and once you learn that code, and once you learn regular expression, you can learn any language. You can even develop your own. That's what Facebook's doing. That's what IBM's doing. Google's doing. Rackspace does all that stuff. I think the next big thing in social media is creating your own stuff and then putting it on social media. I think you can be the next best thing in social media. You just have to do it. Just got to do it. This hat didn't exist before I designed that logo, which I did that a long time ago. But then the hat I found, and then I took it to a place that put a thing. And then when they did it, as you can see, sorry, my hair's kind of weird, but as you can see, they kind of messed it up when they printed it. But then when they gave it to me, they said, "Oh, you don't have to pay for that." I said, "No, I'm going to, because you made it, and I made that. Somebody made this hat, and then you made that happen. Of course I'm going to pay for that, because nobody has this anywhere else on the entire face of the planet. No one. It's the only one. It's one of a kind. It's priceless, actually. If you wanted to buy this from me, you better have a lot of money." Any pointers for someone just starting out? Start. Don't stop. If you stop, you'll have quit. You have stopped. If you stop, you'll have quit. You see what I'm saying? If you quit, it'll have stopped. There's the slightest chance that you'll create something like a song or a video, and you put it out there, and then you stop doing stuff like that, and then years later it just washes up somehow. Somebody finds it, and then they end up making fun of you, and then it goes viral because they're laughing at you, and then they're laughing at you and laughing at you, and then half of those people that are laughing at you are going to go, "Wait a second, why am I laughing at them? I would have done something like that." And then they start liking you, and then all of a sudden you're a viral hit, and you didn't even realize it. Well, the last person that happened to was the freaking Chewbacca lady, maybe. I don't know. But the thing was, she posted that video when she was wearing the Chewbacca mask. You don't remember that. She posted that video because she wanted to elicit reaction, create response. Also, she just thought it was funny. People want to laugh. People want to argue too. No, they don't. Yeah, they do. That's just how it goes. So I guess more pointers. Keep going. Don't stop. If you hit a roadblock, here's another thing. So you do want to start some arguments with people. Don't base it on things that are discriminatory in nature. For example, today was the day where pretty much every media outlet decided the president next January, after Inauguration Day, will be Joe Biden, and that the vice president will be Kamala Harris. It's going to happen unless the Supreme Court of the United States decides to overturn the entire election. Well, it's been a while since that happened, if ever. And I can see when I get on Facebook this morning, when I got on Facebook this morning, to be honest, I was thinking we weren't going to get these results till next Thursday, and I was almost going to cancel this damn gig. Just kidding. More pointers. This is the real thing. How did Biden win the election? Well, he just didn't stop asking you for money, right? Go back to, how did Trump win the election when he won it? Well, he told people he was better than Hillary. And apparently they thought he was telling the truth. He said, where to start? Where do you start? Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. And I think in those order. And now you can flip the order, those 5 things, flip them and start out on TikTok and see if you get more views from there. I can tell you now, TikTok gets more views because of the way that the app is designed, plus the way the algorithm is designed. As you're scrolling through TikTok, it is sending data back to TikTok servers, which they are then using that same data to adjust the algorithm. They use machine learning and AI to figure out why you kept your eyes on that one video for longer than you did the other one. Well, that one had this music behind it. That one had these colors in it. That one had this kind of person in it. Say they were a man or a woman, maybe a transgender person, maybe a man who identifies as a woman, maybe a woman who identifies as this or that. A tree. It has a tree in it. There's a dog. There's a cat. It learns that information as you scroll through. And that happens on everything, by the way. There's a concept called the Facebook pixel, which is a very small piece of code that you can inject in any website ever. And it will use Facebook's servers to track your information. And that way Facebook knows if you've been to any other website other than Facebook. That's crazy, right? It's not that crazy. It's just a standard cookie technology. It's just designed to get you to get Facebook to learn that data. Have you ever noticed when you scroll through Facebook, an ad comes up for something you talked about 2 seconds ago? Well, chances are it wasn't because they were listening to you. It was because they know that you're interested in something like that because you talked about it not just 2 seconds ago. You thought about it 2 weeks ago. You researched about it a week ago. A day ago, it came up in a conversation by somebody else, and you heard it, and it re-invoked that response and that emotion inside of your brain. And then 2 seconds ago, you talked about it. Bam, present time, it's on your phone on Facebook. Well, Facebook just knows via the data aggregation that you do what you do. So start there. Start with what you have. If you don't have social media at all and you try to stay away from it, but you want to build a brand, say you want to build a brand, you're going to need social media to build a brand, especially nowadays during COVID-19. We have to change some of the things about our lives. For the rest of our lives, by the way, we're always going to have hand sanitizer around us. And you're going to see more people using it. For the rest of our lives, we're going to be seeing people in crowded spaces wearing masks when we get to a point where we can even be in crowded spaces again, if it's possible. Shifts happen. If you can predict the shift, get ahead of the predicted part of the shift, and therefore when the shift happens, you're already there. You're already there. Where do you start? Where do you start? Well, start with you. You start by going to Mount West and taking the classes you need to take to finish your degree. You start by asking your friends, what do you want? What do you want me to do? And then they go, well, shoot, I don't know. But you know what? Most of the time when you ask your friends something like that, what do you want me to do? They're going to give you an answer. They're going to say, I want you to do this, and I want you to do that, and I want you to do this, and I want you to do it for me. Best time to post to social media? All the time. Best days of the week? Every day. Next. let's see, really the best answer to that, best time to post to social media. I would say it's during the times when you know people are going to be looking at it. So some people get up in the morning and check their phone instantly, right? Some people don't look at their phone until they're out of work. Some people won't even look at their phone for a whole day. If you want to utilize social media, you got to figure out who is using it and when they're using it, and then post around that time. Don't post directly at 5 p.m. I mean, you can, but the way Facebook's algorithms work, you're going to see things from 3 days ago in the same news feed as what you see now. And then you're going to see stuff that, it's weird, but you're going to see stuff in your news feed now that won't even be popular until 3 days from now. That's how their algorithm is designed. It's all based in these tertiary threes, 3 days, 3 hours, 3 minutes ago. You'll see it. Pull up a timeline and start looking at some of the data. Start using the data with your own eyes and seeing. You'll see a lot of threes. There's a lot of threes in a lot of that stuff. But I would say the best days of the week to post would probably be the weekends. Then again, everybody considers a weekend to be a different thing. Most people, weekends are Saturdays and Sundays. Some people, their weekend is Fridays and Saturdays, and they go to work on Sunday. Some people, especially in, like, say, the service industry or a lot of customer service industries, their weekend is actually Sunday and Monday. Their work week doesn't start till Tuesday, and then it ends on Saturday. Some people work 7 days a week, only so many hours each day. Some people do one job a month, and it gets them paid. And then they're good to go, and they can do whatever they want for the rest of the month. So they go hiking, or they go on dates, or they do this or that. You know, those are all acceptable things. But I would say the best times to post in social media in days of the week, if your market is America, you want to post before 9 a.m. and after 5 p.m. And if you post after midnight, it gets freaky. You know what I'm saying? If you post on the weekends, you can post anytime, really, and it's just a free-for-all, sort of. So, in my opinion, post all the time. Just post stuff. Elicit response, invoke reaction and emotion, and you will get that info. So I got 4 more minutes. You ask, how can you find me? That's where you can find me, right here. Officialholler.com is the website. If you go to that website, there's a little bio about me and all the other people I do the show with, Brian, Gracie, Cole. Cole you never see. Cole's the behind-the-scenes guy. This is a little thing a lot of people know. Cole is a lawyer. He's technically not a lawyer. He's a judge, and he lives in the state of Florida, and he's our lawyer. We have a lawyer, and we have to have a lawyer because what happens if we get sued? Well, we send our lawyer after you, and guess what? Our lawyer is a judge. So our lawyer knows more about the law than more than likely the lawyer that you're sending to us. So, just saying, don't sue Holler. Also, we don't put ourselves in a position to be sued anyway. We don't want to. We ask permission before we share anything. And if we share something without permission, it's already been shared by thousands or millions of people. So it's already in the public domain. If something is too risque, we won't share it. We can't share it. Our show's for everybody. Kids watch our show, even though we curse. Old people watch our show, even though we drink. It's how it goes. It is what it is. Again, my name is JD Short, aka DJ Diablo Sauce Packet. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all JDSHORT, all one word. If you have any questions, send them to me. My DMs are always open. My email is always open. My email is jdshort@gmail.com. Feel free to hack it. I have plenty of spam. I don't need this email address anymore. All I get is bills in the thing anyway. I mean, that's all it is bills. You want to pay them? Go ahead. Any more questions before I guess we're done with this session, and then we move on to the next one? In the comments, I can't see the. Yeah, okay, I think we're good. Well, thank you so much. Again, go to officialholler.com for all your holler needs. I have been JD Short. Thank you so much to Mount West and to Kim Priest and to Patrick Smith and to Josh Joseph. Congratulations on getting over to Ohio and South Point. Thank you to the Game Developers Expo, the Cybersecurity Expo. Learn regular expression. Do your math. Learn regular expression. You can learn every single computer language if you know regular expression. It's very easy. Amazon.com is not that evil. It's just the people that use it that are. Let's see. Facebook is full of dumb people, but also very smart people. Twitter is actually the most fun, I think. Instagram is just mostly food and almost pornography. TikTok is where you can dance, and it's fun because dancing is great, and more people should do it because it keeps you healthy. I have been JD. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.